Hello, and welcome to a new episode of Grammar Minute. I'm Professor Saikali with a Master's in Education teaching English to speakers of other languages. In today's episode, we will be talking about contractions to the verb to be, as well as negatives with the same verb. If we are speaking, sometimes we say words so fast that they become one. This happens in many languages. Over time, in English, these words became known as contractions. When conjugating verb to be with pronouns, we have I am, you are, he is, she is, it is, we are, and they are. Now, all of these pronouns have a contraction. We can tell there's a contraction when we use an apostrophe. I am becomes I'm. You are your. He is he's. She is she's. It is its. We are we're. They are their. We can use these contractions when we're speaking or writing. To make it easier, there is a trend. You can take the first letter of the conjugated verb to be and you replace it with an apostrophe. For example, I am, you take off A and put an apostrophe. It becomes I'm. In you are, you take off the A and put an apostrophe. It becomes your. In he is, you take off the I and put an apostrophe. It becomes it is. If we want to use negative with the verb to be, we use the verb not. Not makes the sentence negative. For example, we are not happy. She is not tall. He is not a teacher. Spain is not a city. Not is always placed after the verb to be. We are not happy. She is not tall. He is not a teacher. We cannot use two forms of contraction when we use not. We can use contractions between the pronoun plus the verb to be, or we can use contractions with the verb to be plus noun. For example, I'm not a student. You're not a student. He is not a student. She's not a student. It's not a country. We're not students and they're not students. In this case, the contraction was between the pronoun and the verb to be. We can also use the contraction between to be plus not with all the pronouns except I. For example, you aren't a student. He isn't a student. She isn't a student. It isn't a country. We aren't students and they aren't students. So the contraction becomes isn't, which means is not, or aren't, which means are not, depending on the pronouns we're conjugating. We cannot have a contraction between the verb to be and not in the case of I. I can say I'm not a student, but I cannot say I'm a student. That is not correct. That's it for this episode. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Grammar Minute.